Mark, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. I know you're not, and we didn't lose. But then Liverpool winning the title. I mean, actually, I'm probably feeling about as sick as you are, to be honest, when I think about it. But yeah, at least Man United didn't lose.
Do you think that's it then? Let's kick off straight away with that game. It was the big game of the weekend yesterday. Manchester City versus Liverpool. Got to say, a very comfortable afternoon for Manchester City, for Liverpool. First of all, Arsenal go and capitulate the day before, making it very easy for them. You know, they could literally just say to themselves, well, listen, even if we do lose this, we're still going to be 8 points clear. And then add to that the team sheet just before the game. No Erling Haaland, not even in the squad. You kind of knew in a way that Liverpool could do this, and they did pretty comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's got Van Dijkitis. I don't know whether you heard what Carragher said about him missing against Rudiger in midweek. But obviously, yeah, I mean, you were talking about it before off air, how Liverpool have had a lot of luck this year. And I mean, look, Erling Haaland's the best striker in the league, and he's not available for the game where Arsenal would want him to be available for. But I think that you're right. I do think the game becomes a lot easier for Liverpool because of what Arsenal have done. I think there would have been more pressure on Liverpool. But I do think as well, when you look at the reverse fixture in December, I remember saying I think Liverpool are going to win this league when they beat Man City, because with all due respect to Arsenal, I don't really understand a lot of Arsenal fans sort of saying Arteta out. I think that's, as I've said before, I think that there are circumstances. Another red card this weekend. You're top of the league for red cards. There's been a few games where you've dropped points like Everton and West Ham again this season that you just can't drop those points. Those 4 points would still have you in a race, and then you never know. But I think Liverpool, with Man City not being where they have been for the last few years, and Arsenal just having a strange season, I feel sorry for certain Arsenal players, because I think Arsenal yet again have got the best defence in the league, and arguably don't have a massive issue in the midfield. But the attack is so well documented. It's just very frustrating. Even as a Man United fan wanting Arsenal to stop Liverpool, it's just I find myself very frustrated in the January window, in the summer window, going, why have Arsenal not bought a striker? And I think every Arsenal fan can take solace in the opinion that they know better than their board, because everybody knows Arsenal need a striker, and the board have gone, we're not going to get one till the summer. And I'm sorry, you got it wrong. Same as Chelsea got it wrong with not getting a striker in. Same as United have got it wrong. Look at Villa. They come from 1-0 down at the weekend because they've got Asensio and Rashford. It's not rocket science, and some of these clubs are letting their fans down, I think.
Yeah, 100%. But I think the one thing we got to say, Liverpool are the best team in the league. You know what I mean? They're going to deserve to win this, right? They've only lost one game this season, which is a bit of a shock defeat against Nottingham Forest. And I thought yesterday, you know, going to the home of the champions, they were dominant. You know, you saw they had a little swagger to them. They knew they were going to win. They were just like, and I reckon if they really wanted to, they could have got more in that game. And City at the moment, by the way, are looking a shadow of themselves. Gary Neville said something, right, in the commentary, and I want to get your opinion on this. Are we seeing the end of this sort of possession-based football? Because I see it with Arsenal as well. We play a similar style, like, we'll get to the West Ham game, but lots and lots of possession, you know what I mean? Pass. But teams now are very well organised, more organised than they've ever been. And you saw it with Liverpool yesterday. I think they only had about 36% of the possession, Liverpool.
Yeah.
They just sat in and they just brought, City onto them. And every time City lost the ball on the counter-attack, Liverpool just so efficient. When you've got players like Salah, who's been the best player in this league by far this season, when you've got a player like him and you've got the counter-attacking ability of a team like, Liverpool, and you've got your Nottingham Forest playing a, same counter-attacking style, it's very, very effective. And are we seeing the end of this? Because everybody's picking off Man City now.
Yeah,
win the ball, get the ball up front quickly to, Real Madrid did it during the week. Everybody's been doing it all season long, and City just can't handle it.
I hope we are. I mean, the fact that Gary Neville's talking about it, I mean, he has got some couple of good lads working for him who are very good at analysing football. So they probably told him that. I don't think he'd know that. But I agree. I looked at it at half time and I was like, the most important stat for me personally now is how many shots you've had on target, because I think possession, I looked at those stats at half time and loads of them were in Man City's favour, pass accuracy, etc. And if you didn't know the score, you might think Man City were winning it. And this is why stats are getting skewed.
But Liverpool, we can't deny that they're going to be champions.
No, and what I would say is, Liverpool are the best team because they've got the best 3 areas of the pitch. Well, 4 if you include the goalkeeper. The defence is not as good as Arsenal's, I don't think, but it's still very, very good. Well, it's probably as a unit is better because they've got the better fullbacks. Centre-backs wise, I think it's close between Konate, Van Dijk and Gabriel Saliba, who are fantastic. Midfield, very good midfield, and then attack. And that's why Liverpool are going to win the league. But I do think next season there might be, and credit to Liverpool, as much as I don't want to say it, they have been the best team and I felt for a long time they'd win it. But if you look at what's going to happen with Man City, I saw them yesterday. They bought a lot of players. It's not just about buying good players. You've got to replace De Bruyne, Foden, Silva, Stones, Diaz, Walker. They've got a lot of Edison's dropping off. Rodri, we don't know what he's going to come back like. They've got to replace a whole team virtually. Yeah. And then Liverpool have got Trent's definitely going to go. Maybe Van Dijk, maybe Salah. Slot's never had a summer transfer window. So what's he like at buying players? In a way, if Arsenal get that striker, they might be the most stable team to go into next season. So, it's still, and I know there's not much for Arsenal fans this morning, but you're not far off. I think your biggest issue is what they'll do in the market.
I'm fed up of hearing that not far off thing. I mean, listen, let's get to that Arsenal game. Arsenal, for me, absolutely woeful on Saturday. I was taken aback, shocked. 3rd defeat of the season only. What a time to go and do it against West Ham, a team that earlier on in the season, we went there, put 5 past them, put 6 past them last year. All they did really basically is they put on the ultra low block, but it worked.
Yeah.
And, what infuriates me, and I knew this was coming because I said it after the January transfer window, if we don't sign a striker, we're not going to win the league. Simple. And we didn't sign a striker. We didn't sign anybody. And, all right, I know there's been a couple of injuries since that have made things even worse. But Arsenal's lack of firepower exposed, right? In games like that, because every team gets those games. Teams low blocking it, basically West Ham didn't come out. They just sat in a low block and caught Arsenal on a counter-attack, napping. Poor defensive display for that goal by Arsenal. Really, really poor. But then didn't have the attackers to turn it around. This weekend, I've just been seething with anger, not because of obviously the defeat, you're down about that, but sometimes when there's underlying things that you just keep thinking about it and thinking, what are these guys playing at? How can 60,000 fans in the stadium and all the fans around the world see something so obvious that they don't? But I just come to the impression that the owners of Arsenal Football Club, the people in the powers that be, obviously are not winners.
It's really frustrating because, you look at the way the Glazers have run United and Spurs fans aren't happy with Levy and Chelsea fans apparently moaning about what's going on there. But I think Arsenal fans have got every right to moan, and people would say, well, it's entitlement. But look, if you come last in a race or you come second in a race, as Sir Alex Ferguson said, you didn't win the league. So there's only first place in a league title. And I look at Arsenal and you're right. The reason they won't win the league, maybe Liverpool would have won the league anyway. Let's give them respect. But the reason they're
but you got to try though, innit?
Yeah, exactly. And I think Arsenal fans have got every right to be unhappy because that is not an excuse. And it's almost like your owners have written the season off.